Hi there! Welcome to the English Language Club. Sometimes tense seems more complicated than it has to be. So we have 3 key ideas that really make tense make sense. The first has to do with sentence structure. In English, the order of the different types of words in a sentence is particularly important. This structure determines the meaning of the verb. The first big idea is that there are 3 main structures for verbs. So sentences can be either positive, negative, or questions. And these 3 simple structures are the same for every verb and in every tense. So this is the framework that all communication in English is based on. If you really want to improve your English, then make sure that you hit the like button and subscribe to the channel so that you don't miss future videos. Also, stay tuned at the end of this video because we've written a course called Inside English, which is designed to help you make tense make sense. There are a lot of things that make tenses seem complicated, like rules and exceptions and irregular verbs. But underneath all of that, there is a logic, and that is what we focus on in Inside English. So keep watching for more about that, but for now, let's get back to the video. So, what do we mean by positive, negative, and question structures? Let's look at some examples. A positive sentence would be, "You are listening." And we can make a negative structure by adding the word not. You are not listening. And we make the question structure by changing the order of the words. Are you listening? Looking at the positive structure, we have the subject, the auxiliary verb, and then the main verb. You are listening. So when we make a statement, we use the positive structure, which is where the auxiliary verb comes between the subject and the main verb. Here are some more examples of the positive structure. The important thing here is that the structure is the same. You'll see that even though the auxiliary verbs and the forms of the main verbs are different because the tenses are different, this structure is still subject, auxiliary verb, and then main verb. She has helped people. We are walking together. They had planned the party. The subject tells us who performs the action of the main verb. The auxiliary verb is the most important thing for telling us the tense of the verb. And then the main verb is what defines the action. The second main structure is the negative structure. We use it when the action of the verb does not happen. The structure is similar to the positive sentences, but we use the word not between the auxiliary verb and the main verb to make it negative. Subject, auxiliary verb, not, main verb. So let's make those original examples negative. You are not listening. She has not helped people. We are not walking together. They had not planned the party. So you can see again that with negative sentences, the structure is very consistent. There are things that make tenses seem complicated, like contractions. You'd often say they hadn't planned the party, and things like irregular verbs. And with some tenses, you don't need to say the auxiliary verb. But underneath it all, there is a logical and consistent structure. The third structure is the question. There are different types of question. And we won't get into all of them in this video, but one of the most common is when you start a sentence with an auxiliary verb. So the structure is auxiliary verb, subject, and then main verb. So let's make our examples into questions. Are you listening? Has she helped people? Are we walking together? Had they planned the party? With this type of question, when you start with an auxiliary verb, the answer should always be a yes or no. As I said, there are different types of question, but here you can see how along with the positive and the negative structures, where you put the auxiliary verb is very important. So here are the three structures for verb use in English. Positive, saying that something does happen. We have finished. Subject, auxiliary verb, main verb. Negative, saying that something doesn't happen. We have not finished. Subject, auxiliary verb, not, then main verb. And then questions, asking whether something happens. Have we finished? And that's auxiliary verb first, subject, and then main verb. Of course, there are many things that can be layered on top of this to make it seem more complicated. The form of the main verb, the subject and any auxiliaries can change based on the tense, and many verbs are irregular. Sometimes you don't need to say the auxiliary verb. But underneath it all, no matter what the verb is and no matter what the tense is, the order will fit one of these three structures. So they are crucially important in English. And remembering them is going to help you learn English with confidence. We've written a course called Inside English, and it goes a little bit deeper into these ideas and focuses on helping you make sense of tense. We've noticed that when learning about tenses, students often get overwhelmed because there are a lot of things that make tense seem complicated. But there really is a logic to English. And in order to find it, you have to forget about the exceptions and the dozens of little rules and focus on the basic principles of how it really works. English tenses are often taught as a list of rules to memorize. And when you learn English this way, you quickly get overwhelmed and bored and confused by all the exceptions and the irregularities. So this is actually a really terrible way to understand English, because it makes it difficult to understand how the language actually works. But there is a logic to English, and in this course, that is what we focus on. This course is designed for anyone hoping to improve their English with a particular focus on really understanding the tenses, how they're formed and when to use them. By the end of the course, you'll be able to speak English more comfortably because you understand what each tense means. And you'll instinctively use each tense with the correct form because you'll understand the key ideas of how tenses work. Instead of getting distracted and confused by the things that make tenses seem complicated, we will stay focused on the things that make tense make sense. We've identified 3 key ideas which are often not clearly taught, but they're actually really important. Then we'll look at the main tenses and we'll see how these key ideas apply to all of them without exceptions. So you can be sure that you will use what you've learned every time you speak English. You'll have seen a lot of the content in our free videos like this one, But if you sign up to the course, you'll get all that content delivered within a structure that will systematically help you build on what you already know. You'll also get interactive exercises so you can test yourself and help to retain what you've learned. If you sign up to the course, you'll also obviously help us, so it's a great way that you can support the English Language Club so that we can put out more content in the future. The ideal student for this course is someone who speaks English but gets confused by irregular verbs or lacks confidence because there are too many rules and exceptions to those rules. And because of this, it feels like there's too much to learn. It's not for complete beginners, but anyone who has a pre-intermediate or right up to native speakers will find that Inside English helps to make tense make sense. If you want to know more, then use the link in the description to find out how to sign up. Or you can check out some of our other videos. And don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel. And I'll see you next time.